What is up, y'all? Welcome to the podcast. Hope you're all doing well. This episode is the first episode of the podcast, which is super, super exciting, as it also features my very special pal, Alex Schwarz, who is a super talented musician. She goes to Berklee College of Music and she plays bass. And it was so much fun getting to talk to her and knowing more about her. And like I said, she's super talented. She's an amazing person who deserves the best. And our conversation was very candid and very unfiltered. We talked about a bunch of different topics, different questions. Some of them were serious and some of them were just kind of funny. But yeah, I hope you stay tuned for that. And also, I'm sorry about the amount of times I say the word like. Don't come at me for that. Still learning this whole podcast thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the episode. It's funny because I was thinking about before this podcast and because I was thinking about who I wanted to have on the podcast, and I have a bunch of people in mind, but I chose you first
Hey,
because
that makes me happy.
you're cool.
Hey, you're cool too. Thank you.
But yeah, we actually only hung out not that many times.
Yeah, like twice or three times.
3
It was always
before
wholesome. Though.
this. It was wholesome.
Yeah. Coffee.
You know, I hate coffee, but
Oh, coffee.
you're like, let's get coffee. I'm like, I hate coffee.
What? I didn't even know that until now.
I didn't tell you that. That was my fault.
Damn.
But yeah, so I like tea. We know this. That's the tea on that.
That's the tea.
That's the tea on that. Is that my podcast name? We'll rethink that.
Like when you're reading a book and you see the title of the book and the text, and you're like, oh.
Now we're here doing this podcast somehow because I asked you 5 years, 2 years. We can't do math.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're here now doing this, and I asked you because you were rad, so I wanted to do this with you. But also because I don't know a ton about you.
I'm excited.
Low key, actually high key. I don't know a ton about you, which is
really
funny. Yeah.
I don't know a lot about you either. Well, yeah.
You know, I take photos, and that's probably it.
Well, I know some more stuff through conversation.
True. I mean, you know some deeper things we're not going to talk about in this podcast.
Yeah, that would be dark.
Unless, you know, there could be a future where we talk about that, or I talk about it at least.
A dark podcast.
Dark podcast. This is spooky podcast. That could be a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we know enough about each other, truly, which is wild to me.
It is wild.
That's why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to know more about you, and also have the people out there know more about you, because you're cool.
Oh no.
You're cool and you're talented. Give yourself credit. Give yourself credit. Give yourself credit. Give yourself credit.
Then you gotta give yourself credit.
You got me there. You got me there. You got me there. Damn it.
We're both cool.
All right, this is supposed to be an inspirational one, so I guess I gotta be inspirational.
Yeah. Do it. Say something good about yourself.
I take photos. I'm proud of some of the stuff I've done. Well, it's not about me. This podcast is not about me tonight. It's about my special guest here.
No.
Yes, it is. That's why I brought you here.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So we know who you are. You introduced yourself.
Yeah.
We know that much. I need to know what the people want to know about you.
Fuck, dude. I feel like
what are you about? Maybe this is a therapy session. No. We're not trained professionals. We're not therapists. Don't listen to us. Don't listen.
I take everything you hear from a grain of salt.
Yeah, we're not trained. We're not actual therapists. But we can help if you need us, we can talk about things.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I can try.
I like to be open and candid. This is what this podcast is about. We're being candid here. But yeah. So what do you Well, we know who you are already. You've introduced yourself, as I said. I'm gonna repeat myself a lot. I do that. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, so like what I know you do is you do music. You're a
Yeah,
musician,
I do.
a
I
talented one.
am.
Yes, yes, you're talented.
Well, thank you. I don't know if it's talent. I think maybe it's just uh, a lot of time that I've been
A
doing
lot
it, or
of
a good amount
time.
of time. Yeah.
How long have you been doing music?
Um. Shit. Probably like 10 years.
Damn, 10 years.
10 years, bro.
So you were
Yeah.
doing it when you were since like a child.
Yeah. I mean, I started in like middle school.
True. Funny enough, I do music on the side. I say I'm a musician, but I do that with air quotes because I'm not like
No, you are.
I'm not on your level.
If you play music, you're a musician. Just like if you do art, you're an artist.
I started like I played music in middle school. That's when I technically started, but I played one snare drum and that was it. They put us way in the back of the audience and no one can see me because I was so short.
No.
Yeah, and like we played one snare drum and we had like the practice pad on it and we couldn't take it off.
Oh,
Yeah, so like no
that's
one
rough.
even like heard us play,
Well, I'm sure it was amazing.
but they didn't even like give us a drum set, so I never got the experience of a drum set, and I'm a little
That's
sad
whack.
about that. I have a drum set in my house, but I don't know how to play it. I just made
What?
like random noise on it, and I was like, "Well, is this how you play drums?"
Probably. Definitely.
But yeah, so we know you do music now for 10 years. So wait, how? You said you were how old? I forget, honestly.
Oh, 20.
Right. I thought you were honestly. I thought you were older than that.
Yeah,
Because like
I get
I'm old. I'm an elder here.
that.
I literally I feel so old. We're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, so you've been doing it for like a while. Um, like what like literally like what is like what you always wanted to do?
Yeah,
You feel like you wanted to always do music. Like that's what you
yeah,
wanted to do when you were like a kid.
yeah.
Like that was like your dream.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing in like middle school, and I guess it was never really like a question. I kind of just knew, like, oh yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, I was never like, I think I was fortunate enough to have a community and parents that didn't tell me I couldn't do that. So yeah, I'm glad about that. And yeah, I kind of just always knew that I wanted to pursue it before I really understood what even a career, the definition of a career even is, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like definitely like one of like well, I mean, a lot of careers are hard to get into, but I feel like that's like a really really tough one to get like into.
Yeah.
That and like acting, I feel like are like at the top like ones that are like so hard to like get into it and like stay into it and like have a career out of it and like
Yeah.
get like the right pay on it, you know?
Yeah. I feel like with acting, it's a lot more about the privilege that you were born into. Because I mean, I went to school in like LA, and there was really the only people that were successful in the acting department at my school were the people who had parents that were already actors in Hollywood, um, which is like super unfortunate because a lot of times it's not about how talented you are or how much you want it. It's about like your circumstance, in that regard with acting, I feel like. But maybe not all the time, but definitely sometimes.
Yeah, that's like I don't know what it's like to grow up in like you grew up in like what was it like San Fran.
Yeah, I was born in San Francisco, and then I moved to LA when I was like 16.
How dope.
Yeah, it was cool. I moved out of my parents' place when I was like 16. Um, and I guess it was, but I've been in California for like my whole life, pretty much, with some exceptions, I guess.
Like I've heard like so many like how like hard it is like be in LA and like how many people are out there that are just like trying to make it and then like just so many people. I don't know. I've heard so many like horror stories about being in LA.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm glad that I was in high school when I lived in LA because I was able to like absorb the culture without worrying about having to make a living per se. I mean, I still had to worry about this kind of things, but um, I was more of a learner in that position. It's cool. I feel like a lot of people try to move to LA or New York, and that seems very scary.
I always wanted to go to LA, but I was like, ugh, I couldn't. I wouldn't survive out there. I feel like
No, you would. You would like LA.
would I?
Yeah, you
Is it
would.
like really artsy? I've heard it's like artsy.
There's a lot of different parts of LA. Um, there are some like parts of LA that are artsy, like fake artsy, which is almost just like whitewashed artsy, which is like the um those like super expensive vegan restaurants in like
Oh
Hollywood
yeah, I've
kind
just
of
heard
shit.
like basically the Pacific Northwest is just like artsy. I know like Seattle is like probably pretty artsy. I've heard.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm gonna like make a trip out there at some point and like live my true dreams of being an artist. I'm not doing
do
it
it.
here in Boston, really. I don't know.
Yeah,
um,
do it.
I
That's what life's
honestly,
about.
yeah, like just go for it. That's my motto. Just go for it. That's
Exactly,
my new
because
motto. I didn't go for it before, but I think now I'm just gonna like go for things. You know,
no, that's amazing. That's like
I'm
the
trying.
best thing about life. No, do it. Because you if you don't go for things, you fucking sit around in your life and you just kind of exist, you know? I don't
You
know.
just like exist, and you're just like a being, just existing, and
Yeah.
like you're not like putting shit out into the world.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just gonna wake up and be kind of sad, not really think about where I'm going. I guess just doing things is kind of inspirational, I guess.
Which is like so so tough because like I mental health like such a hard topic.
Truly.
Like
Mental health, man.
it's it's a struggle. It's been a struggle. I think for me personally, I know, and then you know, I think you said for you as well,
Yeah, no, I've definitely struggled with that for sure. Um,
and especially in this year, that's this wonderful year of 2020.
Wonderful year. I mean, actually, it was more 2019,
For
but
you,
2020 it overlapped. Yeah,
I think I remember you saying what was it
last
last
winter.
fall, yeah, fall winter,
Yeah, fall was fine.
fall was
Winter,
fine.
winter really got me, man.
I feel that it's really just like the days going into like it gets dark at like 4:30, and that's what
Yeah,
gets you. I usually like the holidays and like fall and winter, but it was really good for me. It was like one of the best times. But yeah,
yeah,
that sucks. But like it can fluctuate. Like it's the seasonal, like the seasonal like depression. That's definitely a thing.
yeah. And then just like moving. I mean, your first year in college, no one tells you how fucking hard that is. No one,
Oh yeah, Oh,
especially if you don't have support. I mean, I think there should be so much more support for like incoming like college freshmen because like if you don't have parents that are gonna like buy you bed sheets and buy you shampoo and shit, like there are so many kids who are just starting out in this new environment that's scary and hard, like with nothing. And I think that can really make or break anyone, really.
oh,
Um,
I wish I like had that when I first started. Oh my god, like that was like I started 4 years ago now. It was college, and like I had no idea what I was doing, and it was so scary. And I I didn't really move anywhere. I stayed home because like my school was like 20 minutes from my house. So it was like wouldn't make sense for me to move in and waste the money to be in a dorm.
yeah,
um, but yeah, it's so tough like for people that don't have you know a supportive place when they're first starting and like outlets and stuff like that.
especially like dorm life. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I can never fully understand what dorm life is about. I remember I had to stay there one time for like orientation. They made us stay in the dorm, and I was like, this is not it.
awful.
Like some people like it, and some people it's for them, but it's just like I couldn't do it.
It was awful, disgusting. I had a room with two other people, and it was just a shit show. I mean, God, like I don't even. They put you with random people or like one friend or something if you can, and like just sharing a small ass room with two other people for like a whole year is just
God, yeah, I would need my space.
yeah. And people get bitchy too. People get mean, and you get mean. You get frustrated. Yeah,
Yeah, it's I've been living at home with my parents, but like it has its like of course it's privileges to that, and I'm lucky to like be able to do that. But it's just like it can be like I just want to like be somewhere by myself for once.
yeah.
That's like rough, but
Do you have your own room?
I do have my own room, luckily. But it's like I've been in it like so much during quarantine, and it's just like I want to get out, but like at the same time, I'm just like I don't know what it's like to be like not in my room because I've been more productive in my room lately with things and like this podcast here. I've thought of this podcast just randomly in my room. So it's
Yeah, it's a
like,
good idea.
yeah, but and now it's born and we're here and what's good. But yeah, I'm glad I like started this. I guess this is the first episode, or technically, first guest episode. Um, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
living at home is just it's a trip. I'll say that. I can't wait to at least move out at some point, which hopefully will not be anywhere near here. I want to get out of the city. But
yeah.
speaking of the city, and by the city I mean Boston, good old Boston. uh, which I don't say in my accent. Everybody thinks I have an accent because I'm from here, but I don't have the accent.
You
Thank
kind
you.
of do.
Do I have the accent? Oh my
Like,
god.
no, you don't. But there's like one
Certain
word.
words, just certain
I
words.
think it's only one word.
Which word is it?
I can't place it.
Damn it.
Um, yeah,
Well, I don't say Boston like Boston because it's like Boston. I don't have like I think I know what word it is, but I don't know what word it is. But I think I know what you mean. There's
yeah,
one word that I like really say that's like that like I pronounce like I don't pronounce the R's on it because we don't pronounce our R's, which it's dumb. But yeah, our accent's like I don't know why it's even an accent. Like we literally don't pronounce our R's. But yeah, speaking of the city, this wonderful city, I do love the city sometimes, minus the T system.
yeah.
But so you literally moved here from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast.
I did.
How has that been? Do you think you
Um,
like it better here or like back home?
uh, well, I like it back home better. I like California
Makes
better.
sense.
The weather, yeah, the weather and the people. Um, but Boston is good too. Boston taught me a lot. It's definitely like a faster pace, and I honestly feel like people here, maybe because it's a college town, or maybe I because of college, but I feel like people here are more of like a forward momentum in a way,
Yeah.
which is good for where I am right now in my life. I don't maybe I don't prefer it forever, but I think it's good for learning. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I mean, I've never been to the West Coast. I have no idea how it is out there. But I'm assuming it's like a huge difference in like people. It's definitely a sports town. I know that.
Yeah.
Because I work with sports people, so I know. But yeah, it's a giant place. It's definitely we have like a ton of resources out here. Like we got Harvard,
Yeah.
that's good. We got like good like programs and all that here, good schools. Um, but yeah, that must have been like a move, a move to come all the way to the East Coast.
Yeah. The winter was
Oh yeah,
crazy.
the winters here. It was that first experience like having like a winter here. God, because our winters are
It was
insane.
awful. It was awful, honestly. I mean, I I hate to be so negative about it because it was cool at first. I was like, wow. I never really grew up in snow. I've seen snow, like I had been around it, but living in it is really something different. It was cold. I think I have
Snow
a
is cold.
lower, yeah, I think I have a lower tolerance for cold because I had just grown up in California.
Oh, I have a high tolerance because I've been here. I'm used to
Oh,
getting like 20 feet of snow.
oh my God, lucky.
I love the cold, honestly. Like I love being frozen to death. I don't know why. My fashion sense comes out when I'm like frozen. I don't know. Summer, I don't know her.
I feel like I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I coming from the West Coast, I feel that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's such like a wild concept.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
truly.
I will definitely have to go out there and tell you how the West Coast is for me.
You should.
I'm
You really
planning on
should.
doing that soon. Not soon, like once this is all over with, whenever that is.
Yeah, whenever.
Whenever, like maybe 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh
it's
my
anytime
God.
soon.
Oh my God.
People are just not cooperating in
Yeah,
certain like parts of the world or country. That could be for another podcast. Again, the rant on how people don't wear their masks anywhere,
I
but
know.
maybe it's not for this podcast right now.
I mean, I was talking to someone yesterday, like, and she was saying that she's not scared because she's young and she won't get sick, and it's the percentage of her dying is very low. But I mean, that kind of mentality, I feel like, is what is happening. Why it's so bad because people only care about themselves.
Oh, for sure.
But that's not on that, Don't want to get into it.
It's like also like anybody can literally get it. Like babies can get it. I feel like I read something that like younger people are more prone to it now, or were anyway. Like it literally affects anybody at all. So like it like just do your part. That's not that hard to wear a mask. That's
Yeah,
my 2 cents. Um, like we could, if you're tired of being inside in quarantine, we could move this a lot faster if you just do your part.
yeah,
But yeah, like it's like I don't want to be inside for like ever. Like I get out sometimes for like my mental health, but on walks, But I just like really just walk and like doing this podcast and like trying to think of new ideas just like kept me somewhat like sane through it all somehow. first few months were really, really bad, and how I was keeping sane with it. Definitely. Like March, April, when it first like blew up around here. It was really bad. We were like the third place for like cases.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
that
that.
was great. But yeah, that's been keeping me sane. Just working on new new projects. What has like been keeping you sane for like begin like the start of it through now? I guess.
Um, yeah, I mean, my situation has changed so many, I mean, drastically, like once or twice during this whole quarantine. So it's been like I've almost lived two kind of separate lives just from moving around or separate situations. But the constant thing that was keeping me like sane was probably running because it's been not snowing since it's the summertime. So I've been running. It's really helps with my mental health. And then practicing, just staying on top of like the everyday routine has really helped. The productivity has really helped with my mental health. Um, and hiking too. I was in Utah for a little bit at Zion National Park.
Yes. I I running. I feel like I tried that once and it was like not for me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like I tried hiking. Like I hiked up a mountain. I think it was like in New Hampshire or something, and like I was just dead after it.
yeah,
It's just not like for me. But that's cool. That's good that you like have that and that keeps you like sane in this like time. I feel like for me it's like kind of like that, but it's more like just I take walks. So it's not
yeah,
running. It's just walking.
yeah. I mean, when I first started running, it was painful and like I was like, why would anyone ever do this? Um, but then someone told me that it helps them feel less stressed out. So I did it more for like my mental health, but it sucks at first.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you felt that that like keeping sane has been like the part of like running and all that which I get. Is there anything else that has like kept you besides like running and shit that's like kept you like sane or like any uh what's the word I'm thinking of, any like books or like music or anything that's like been like you've been reading listening to that's been like inspirational or like
Yeah, I really took the time during this um, quarantine to, sorry, yeah, no, I really took the time during this quarantine to work on my, or at least attempt to work on my mental health. And so I read this book called The Body Keeps the Score. Um, it's a book about healing your traumas. um, and it kind of just talks about like war veterans and also the like how trauma works in your brain, like how you respond to it, and that really helped me a lot. And also just going to therapy too, like consistently for the first time in my life. Um, and yeah, I've been reading other books, listening to records. Um, I started writing, which has helped a lot. It's, like kept me sane for sure. Um, yeah, just the daily. It sounds kind of lame. I've never tried it, but like until now, but just the daily like writing how you feel in
like
that
in a
moment.
journal.
Yeah, in a journal. Just there today, whatever day, the date, and just I feel this. Um, And I guess it's only really just helped with keeping track of how I'm feeling. It hasn't really been super therapeutic or anything. It's good to like keep track of things. You
Yeah,
don't
that's
know where you
definitely
are.
that's recommended to do that in therapy as well. To like write down my feelings and like it's just maybe it helps some people, not necessarily me. It's just like just like a weird like concept. To just write down like what you're feeling. Like it's kind of hard to do because I'm like I'm feeling like this today. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I guess it's helpful in some sense, but like it's so hard to like do that. To like put it to paper. Which I did try to do that before, and it was like, I don't know if this helps.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no one recommended it to me actually. I think like if a therapist or someone told me, I probably would have been like, "Nah, that sounds stupid." um,
works
but
for some,
yeah, exactly.
but yeah, it's what was the name of that book again?
The body keeps the score.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. It
Uh,
sounds like I could.
I actually have it right here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, if you want to borrow it.
I might actually do that.
Yeah,
I don't read a ton, and I've been wanting to read more, so I probably should do that because I've been educating myself on a lot more things recently.
yeah. In general, reading is good for your mental stamina too. It really, I feel like it wakes me up a lot. Just, the same way that running does. It's just like, you don't necessarily really want to do it at first, but it helps to wake you up, I think.
Yeah, I'm like still trying to find what helps my mental health. I guess this is somewhat helping me and like live streaming on Twitch and
Yeah.
like connecting with people again. Hearing like their stories and like, you know, what they're about. I think that's kind of what I like. um it's cool to hear like different perspectives and like upbringings and like what inspires other people, what they like. Um which like speaking on that is like other question that I like to ask a lot to like everybody. Because like I myself am not like think about this a lot to myself because I am down on myself a lot, which I'm trying to work on. But I like to think of the question in a way of like what would you say like there's a moment that like you're most like I guess I'll say proud of. I hate to word it like that. Not hate to, but like I guess like a moment in time or like yeah that like you were like proud of or like most like happy with.
Um, I
Which
think
is
for me, it's not a specific moment. I don't think I could place any specific moment that I was proud of. I think for me, it's um, a lot of moments. I think yeah, I think it's a lot of small moments that I'm proud of, I guess. And I think it's a compilation of really bad moments that I'm proud of, I guess.
really bad ones. Like what? We don't have to go into detail if we don't want to, but like I
Um,
mean, by like the bad moments that you're proud of.
like the hard stuff, like all the shitty moments, all the like shitty things that I've dealt with. I think all of those small moments for me is probably the one moment would probably make up one moment that I'm proud of, I guess.
So like is that like in a way of like the deep like hard moments? Is that like or I guess like maybe like the failures? Um, is
I
that
know, but
like
for me, it's not the failures. I feel like
okay?
it's the opposite of failure. I guess just like all the small moments of like pushing through
So
whatever
like
adversities.
so like I guess how do I like rephrase this? Like I guess like the hard moments like I guess in the way maybe you look at it as like what you've learned from them or like what you've taken from them. I guess in a way.
Yeah, but also just that I got through them. I think that's like I got so much out of it, but like what I'm proud of probably is just that I like am here right now that I got through them.
Getting through, yeah, that's a big step. That I think that's a lot to be proud of is getting through like a tough situation, which it's hard for me to say like I'm proud of myself for a lot of things. I just don't like praise. I have a hard time taking compliments and praise from people, um, which is a tough thing. But yeah, it's a being proud of things is a tough like concept, but that's why I like to ask it because like I want to see what other people are proud of and how they take like failures and like learn from them because like I like to hopefully do that with like my failures.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if I were to think of one moment, um, maybe I guess growing up, like going to college financially wasn't really an option for my parents, and for I guess for me because of my parents' financial situation. Um, so I guess all through high school, I worked pretty hard to like make sure that I was able to go to college. So I guess for me, like maybe the moment that I was most proud of was like um, finding out that I could, I got like the like money that I needed to go to school. I guess maybe that's it.
Yeah, like the scholarship. Whenever you mentioned that too.
Yeah, I mean, because I just couldn't even go without it. So maybe that's that moment I felt like like the one of the only moments in my life where I felt like the hard work actually paid off in a way that was tangible. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a moment to be proud of. I think. Um, but yeah, that kind of bounces off the other one I had of like the moment like of like a moment that like you would want to like hold on to, I guess, which probably would relate to that. I'm assuming. Like if there was one moment, or moments, I guess, maybe that you like want to just hold on to, or maybe not hold on to. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just went through a breakup, so there's
Let's talk about that. Another
yeah.
podcast, maybe. We can do like a
My
breakup
brain's kind of
podcast.
cloudy. My brain's kind of cloudy of trying to separate moments that I want to hang on to.
Yeah, no, I
It's
totally
yeah,
get that.
weird thinking about yourself
It
as
really is like we exist. We're human. Like we're a being and we're living on a planet
like separately.
separately, but like somewhat together in some form. It's weird. The world is a place, and we're in the year 2020. It's a weird year. I
That's
don't feel
crazy.
like we're existing right now. It feels like a fever dream.
Yes,
This entire year has been a fever dream.
it's a
Maybe
fucking feat.
our entire life has been a fever dream at this point.
Oh yeah.
That's basically how to describe it. It's just been a fever dream, and then that's on that, you know. But you know, it's still cool. It's we're doing things
Yes.
that we're somewhat proud of. You're doing a lot of cool shit. I'm doing
A lot of cool shit too.
okay. Sure. I'll get my confidence back at some point. But yeah,
It's coming.
you're doing a lot of
You
cool
got it.
shit. We're both doing cool shit.
Yes.
Um, that's why I wanted to have you on here because you're doing cool shit and
Well, this right here is cool shit that you're doing.
you're
So
amazing. But yeah, you like I said, you're really talented and in what
thank
you
you.
do.
And
Like
so are
truly,
you.
thank you. Me taking compliments. I'm learning.
Yes.
I'm learning. I'm learning to take them. It's hard, but I'm learning. But yeah,
Yes.
that's I really just wanted to make this like hopefully just like really I want to get like, your name out there too, because you, like I said, you're cool.
Well, thank
You
you.
are like I hope like you can like promote yourself at the end if you want. You can like
Oh,
drop your
I
your
mean,
links, your names, your ats, where people can find you.
if you want, man. No.
No, the people will want to. I'm gonna hype this up on my Twitch. Don't worry.
Oh, word. Oh, word. Well, my at is Alex JSCH. Alex J. It's my Instagram. I don't really do much of any other social media.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, yeah, that's your Instagram. Um, which is you post cool shit on there too.
Sometimes, other
No, it's
times.
usually cool. But yeah, social media is a thing that I haven't been on it either. It's for my mental health. It's a thing. I'm not on it. It's not all that.
For the best.
Yeah, it's for the best. But yeah, that's where people can find you if they want to, which they should. Um, you should definitely join Twitch at some point and
Maybe
live
so.
stream. I'll hype that up.
Yeah, maybe I'll set
I'll
it
be your
up.
personal hype woman. If
Well, thank
anything,
you.
I won't be my own, but I'll be yours.
No, you gotta be your own. You gotta be your own.
I'll try. I'll try my
No,
best.
be your own person. Be your own favorite person to, I don't know.
I think
Breakups are hard,
we could do
but
a second podcast on
we
that.
should,
We should. Okay, we're
maybe,
doing
but
that. We heard
you
it.
gotta be yeah, totally. But you gotta be your own favorite person to come home to because
Damn, that hit.
people don't stay.
That hit. That hit deep.
You think they're gonna stay? They don't. No, I don't know. That's very fucking cynical.
Maybe we just gotta be like a relationship podcast. This was the podcast gonna be just a relationship podcast.
Oh, I got a lot of hurt to tell you guys that. No, no, don't worry. I keep it all
No,
inside.
it's fine. Fine. I mean,
I don't even deal with it. Just
uh,
kidding.
I think I'm gonna make a episode about that at some point though. I'll probably have you on it if you wanted me.
Fuck yeah, I would be down.
This
It's all
podcast,
Instagram posts.
this podcast is like it's for fun, but like I like to like it. There was some seriousness in it, but also some like laughs because like I basically I'm just a meme at this point.
A walking
I'm
meme.
a walking meme at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, I think hopefully everyone will want to tune into this. I think I'll have some cool guests on here. You were the first one. You should be honored.
Yes, this is gonna be an awesome podcast. There are great things coming, and you guys better tune in.
But yeah, listen to what she said. Definitely there'll be more guests on that'll be really cool, and maybe you again. Definitely I'll have to have on for a second
Hey,
one. I'll plan something out again with you, maybe even a
hey,
video podcast.
yeah,
But yeah,
I would love to.
sweet. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun doing this. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
um
It's great.
you're a good guest. It was
Thank you for having me.
it was really fun. You're so cool. um
You're so cool. We're both so cool.
we're
Two
both
girls, two cool girls on a cool podcast.
two girls, one podcast. Oh no, we're not
Two
naming it.
girls, one.
We're not.
That's weird.
Just kidding. Probably gonna cut that part out. Maybe not.
I mean,
People want the laughs. I think we're here for the
unfiltered,
laughs. Unfiltered, we're being candid. That's what this podcast.
unfiltered.
Maybe we should just name it Be Candid.
Too many fucking filters in the world right now. Everything is a filter. Nothing is real.
Nothing is real. We just exist, and everything is a myth.
Yeah, no, it's all curated.
But not this podcast. This podcast is gonna pop off at some point, hopefully.
Oh, well, for sure.
But yeah, like I said, it was really fun doing this.
Thank you for
And
having
you
me.
having you as my first guest. It was super, super rad.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great.
Sure.
Love it.
Yeah, that concludes this first interview podcast. We'll see what the next
Woo!
future for guests. Stay tuned, y'all.